Good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to everyone that has joined today. It's my great pleasure to announce yet another webinar. And just before we start, if you could please scan the respective QR code on the presentation or join us at menti.com with the following code 36798519 in order to provide any questions you may have for the experts that will present in the webinar today. So thank you very much for joining. Indeed, today we're going to talk about the IRIS certification technology. And in fact, it will be a supplemental second part of the webinar that we have done on the technological matters already at the beginning of the year. As per usual, I would like to remind you of two things. You can ask us any questions that you may have on this topic or on any topics regarding IRIS certification via our Menti. And to do that, on each slide you have on the top right hand side the website, which is menti.com, and you can use the following code as just said, 36798519, or an easier way could be by just scanning the QR code on the bottom right hand side, and there you will be able to get direct access to the question section, and we will have a dedicated question and answer section towards the end of the webinar. So today we have quite a packed agenda. We will give you a welcoming introduction with some key updates on the IRIS Management Center. Then we will dive into the majority part of this webinar, for which we will talk about the IRIS portal and then go into depth into some advanced functionalities on the IRIS Audit-Tool Web application. And as promised, we will end with a dedicated 15-minute session on respective questions that you have raised to us on either this topic or any topics that you may have for IRIS certification. So last but not least, I would kindly remind you and highly recommend you to ask as many questions you may have. So it's a great pleasure to announce the first speaker of this webinar, Ms. Anna Manuel. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Anish. Good morning, good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I would like, first of all, like Anish said, to thank Rashid for this contribution during this time with IRIS certification, and I wish him all the best for the future. Next slide, please. Today, I really want to focus on the revision 4. As you can see now, we are running the revision 4 smoothly. The transition to IRIS revision 4 is now complete, and we are fully operating under this revision. The last transition audits are ongoing, and we are confident they will be successful. So once again, congratulations to all of you for the transition. Next slide, please. Looking ahead, our focus is on improving our service and being more present for our stakeholders. We want to ensure consistency, reliability, and clarity in how we operate. We are aware that some pain points have been raised the past year, particularly around the QPL and the audit tool, and we want to underline that we are actively working on consolidating and developing this foundation to improve our database and making the tools more user-friendly and reliable. Today, Anish will share you more details about the audit tool, and you will be able to see all the updates and the effort ongoing to improve how we work and bring you more value. Next slide, please. So as you may know, IRIS is a voluntary scheme with high-quality performance and process-oriented approach, covering many regions with a focus in Asia and Europe, looking forward to develop in other regions like America and Africa. As you can see, we are working with more than 10 CBs, approximately 16 CBs, all available in the IRIS portal. We have more than 200 auditors, and we are covering 33 languages. In terms of company registered in IRIS network, We have more than 4,000 and we have more than 2,200 IRIS certified companies. IRIS certification is recognized and supported by International Railway Quality Board, which bring together integrators, equipment manufacturers, and operators from around the world. They are leading this initiative and also the quality performance level, and they are part of the gold committee for the gold level. So as you can see today, we have 8 gold level companies and more than 300 silver companies and around 100 bronze level companies. I would like to congratulate all of them. This recognition of quality performance is truly pay off, both in terms of audit efficiency, but also improving the product quality. So in this slide, you can see the overview of the current KPI regarding IRIS certification. Next slide, please. I would like to point out that all these companies have adopted IRIS certification, not only for the compliance, but because they believe in a common vision, a global rail industry built on trust, quality, and collaboration, process performance oriented. Together, we strengthened IRIS certification, and I would like to thank them for their support, and I'm looking forward to continue to work together to improve quality in the rail industry. My last slide, before I give the floor to Anish to focus on the IRIS technology, is about the different events where you can see IRIS certification. So as you can see, IRIS certification will be present in the REE event in India next week, and also in the real life event next November in Madrid. So we can wait to see you there to connect and to discuss further about IRIS certification and quality in the rail sector. Thank you all for your participation, and I give the floor now to my colleague Anish to develop the IRIS technology to you.
Thank you very much, Anna-Manuel, for the details you've just provided. Just to remind those hundreds of people that have joined to the webinar already, don't forget to ask us any questions you may have. Also, Anna-Manuel will be joining us for the Q&A towards the end. So any questions you may have for both myself or Anna-Manuel or IRIS certification in general is highly recommended to be provided in this Q&A. We will have quite a nice time period to answer these questions you may have. And if it's about the technology, I may even be able to show you directly live in the portal, depending on the type of question. So just as a reminder and explanation of what I'm going to present today, I'm going to talk and focus, as Anna-Manuel kindly already introduced, the IRIS certification technology. So just to remind you all, the IRIS certification technology consists of 3 key pillars: the IRIS portal, the IRIS database, and the IRIS audit tool. You may say, Anish, okay, just can you remind me, please, on what these are? So quite simply, the IRIS portal is the source of the official information and the communication channel on IRIS certification for companies, certification bodies, auditors, and the public. So it's our main stakeholder channel. It's check it out for our respective white papers, respective webinar announcements, and other dates and datas. Of course, the IRIS portal, and you will see later, for those that are newly joining IRIS certification or those companies that want to join IRIS, is also the starting point and the starting step of the certification process. And here you are able to then apply to become IRIS portal account holder, and then select your certification body to then carry out your audit. But don't worry, we will go to those details a bit later too, in case you are a new company, and we will show you how to do this. The database includes and stores all the information that is heavily secured and displays the certificates and the reports depending on the access rights you have on the portal. The Iris Audit-Tool is a web application introduced a few years ago. It's a cloud-based application, and it's done and used and put into place for recording, evaluating the audit data, as well as generating standardized audit reports, mostly containing the assessment sheet, the conformities against the respective maturity levels that we have put in place. So that's in a nutshell what Iris technology is all about. On the right, you will see two images that I've put. Why? Because it shows you how I'm going to do this presentation. I will first explain you things in theory. So I'll give you the theoretical aspects, and here I will showcase these in respective slides. And then after that, after each section, I will switch directly onto the portal and directly onto the audit tool to show you what I was saying. So I will give you both the theory and the live demonstration on these key functionalities. Also, just before I go to the next slide, I would like to tell you that we have also generated this information that we will present to you today based on a lot of questions and queries that we have received in sight of continuous improvement, and to help also the new companies and existing companies fulfill the requirements. And you will see more later what I mean by that. So first, I will talk about the Iris portal, and then I'm going to go into some key functionalities on the Iris Audit-Tool web application. In the Iris portal, I will talk about what the gateway to the Iris certification is. I've just touched up upon that a few minutes ago, i.e. the application page, but I will go into more details later. I will show you what it means to be an Iris portal account holder as an organization, what type of visibility you get when you're certified, how you can showcase your company to the rest of the industry once you're certified. Then I'll go into some elements about the company master data. I know it may be a repetition for some, but as we are in the Iris Management Center are having an oversight on the certification process, we've seen quite a few issues in regards to the incorrect fulfillment of the company master data, and you will see later why it's so important to keep it up to date and how it can impact your audit, your certificate, and anything else connected to your certification. We will then go into details on the data package. I would like to there remind you why it's so important and how it can also impact your quality performance level, QPL. We will go into details about the account management, what type of accounts you can have on the Iris portal. I will also show you where you can generate new accounts. I'll explain to you what a super user account is and how you can use this to benefit your own organizations. I will just touch upon how you can fulfill the survey and the auditor evaluations. So that in a nutshell is what I'm going to show you via slides and live demonstration on the Iris portal perspective. So Iris portal registration. If you are a new company and are doubting or even wanting to start the certification process, then you need to, as a first step, log on to the Iris portal and go to the home page and select the application page. Once you select the application page, and I will show you this in my live demonstration, this is just the theory, you will have to fulfill a certain subset of data from your organization about the site that you want to certify. Just staying on the theory, I would like to confirm to you that there are two types of registrations: the defined registration and the advanced registration. The defined registration includes a one-time Iris portal registration fee that aims to cover the administrative process to check the compliance of your site compared to the Iris certification eligibility for your company. And then it includes a online version of the Performance Assessment 2023 latest version publication, and this is the certification rules that we have deployed. So it includes that at a highly discounted price. Then you have what we call the advanced registration, which includes the two elements from the defined. And on top of that, it includes the Iris audit tool for 5 years at a discounted price as well. So those are the two types of registration. So if you are striving to become an Iris certified organization or site, I would highly recommend you to first things first, go onto the Iris portal and apply to become a member. That's the first thing you shall do to see if you are eligible and to obtain the performance assessment rules. Then what I would suggest is to read the rules and then see if you would really like to go with Iris certification. So now let's say you have access to the portal. So let's say you have signed up, you've applied to be an Iris portal account holder. Our colleagues at the Iris Management Center here in Brussels, in Belgium, at Unify, have reviewed your application and have approved your application. What you have to know after that is you have to pay the fee, and once you have paid the fee and it's been confirmed, then you will be able to have an account and create further accounts. So there are 3 types of accounts in the Iris portal for companies. You have the administrator account. This is what we call the contact person. I will show you this in a bit. The administrator account is the highest level of account you can have at the site level. You have the ability to edit the company master data, upload the data package, manage the further accounts, and review and view all the reports derived from your audits, which means the Iris final report, the Iris final annexes, the certificates, the corrective actions, the action management, and so on. So you will see all those type of reports you will have access to. Furthermore, the administrator can generate and define simple accounts. This is what we call an active account. Here you can provide more people in your QMS departments that can have access to the portal, and what they can do is only view the master data and view the respective reports, certificates, and so on. They won't have the ability to edit it and update it. Then what we have is what we call the super user account, and we call it the super user account, no AKA. And here the super user account has the ability of an administrator account, but across multiple sites. So this we put into place in 2017 or 18, if I'm not mistaken, to really cater for corporations and companies with at least 3 sites on the Iris portal. So you need to have 3 sites on the Iris portal for your company, and they all have to be connected to a headquarter. And if that happens and you fulfill those prerequisites, you can set up, and I'll show you how to do that later, you can request to have a super user account, and the super user account has the same access for administrator account, but for all the sites that are connected to that corporation. So that's quite interesting. And why it's so important, it's quite simple, because the Iris portal only allows 1 user per site per Iris portal. So that means you can't be having an administrator account for the same person across multiple sites. You can only have 1 unique email address for 1 account for 1 person in the Iris portal. So if you have multiple sites and your job requires you to have an oversight of all of your Iris certification status in the portal, then I would suggest to link your sites via a headquarter in the portal and then suggest to request a super user to have access. So I would kindly suggest that if you are fulfilling these prerequisites, you can do so, and you can also contact us anytime if you have any further questions or inquiries about that. So now, just to paint the story, you've applied to Iris certification through the portal. You have generated and created your accounts. Now you need to ensure that your company master data is up to date, verified, and validated. You will see that the Iris master data, the Iris portal's company's master data, is quintessential for the success of an Iris certification audit. Why? Because the data you provide, and you're providing the inputs to this data. It's so important. It impacts multiple areas in the certification process. For example, you have the location and address in the company master data. This is displayed in the Iris certificate. So you have to understand, if there's a mistake there, this can incur a false or incorrect certificate that does not correctly represent your organization. You have the employee counts. Putting the correct number of employees is important because the employee counts have an impact on the minimum audit day calculation for your audit. You have the certification activities, the business categories. These also are going towards your audit and the certificate. You also have the audit assessment, if it's full or simplified. In regards to the scope of the audit, don't forget you can only move between the assessment types during a recertification time frame. And of course, as you know, the simplified assessment is used as a stepping stone towards the full assessment. Of course, you can always also update your project management type, of course, undergone within your organization, and then you will be able to also implement, edit, update, remove your supporting functions. And here I'm talking about the remote locations and or the site extensions. But don't forget, what I'm trying to say here is, of course, the company master data has to accurately represent the actual realistic situation of your organization. That is quintessential for a successful audit. Now, if you have some changes to these key areas, specifically regarding location, address, and ownership, and so on, I would suggest you heavily to download from the Iris portal the RQMS changes document and template and fulfill this. And this will have to, of course, also be uploaded in the data package. Just last thing on the company master data, I would like to tell you that, of course, it needs to be updated and validated by the organization 90 days before the starting date of the audit. If this does not happen, your certification body won't be able to plan the audit and won't be able to carry out the audit. And you will see later a checkbox when I go into the live demonstration where you can tick the confirmation that you have reviewed the company master data. So, perfect transition, as I was just talking about the data package. So to continue the storyline, you have confirmed your master data, you have a planned audit, now you have to upload your data package. So for a strong data review, you have to upload your data package latest 60 calendar days compared to the start date of your audit. So you have access to the diary, you as an organization, and here I will show you where to do this, how to do this, and the people that can access this are the certification body and the lead auditor, so that they can carry out and fulfill an accurate data review and respective audit. So these dates, when you complete the data package, the Iris portal system automatically fetches the date on when you've completed the data package. And here, this is the date that will be automatically checked with the Iris system to see if you have fulfilled the requirement of uploading the data package minimum 60 days in advance of the start of the audit. So of course, after the successful audit and latest 30 days after the reference date, the data package will be deleted from the audit, and no changes to the audit can be done after that once the data package is removed. Now, I'm not going to go line by line in the 10 elements that are within the data package, but I wanted to highlight some issues that we've been facing. So what we have seen is companies uploading documents that are not eligible for them. So, for example, if you do not have a change in your organization or are not fulfilling a simplified assessment, please do not upload documents number 1 and documents number 2. If they do not apply to you, do not upload them. Same thing for document number 6 for achieving the gold level. If you're not in that direct process, do not upload a document. Why? Because this will lead to analysis time on documents that have no content inside. So just to let you know, we will make an improvement where in the future you will not be able to upload a document if it does not fulfill the requirements that you have specified in your company master data. So just to remind you, documents 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10 that are highlighted in green in my slide and highlighted with an asterisk in the IRIS portal are mandatory to be uploaded for each company, for each audit, for each company, every single year. So how to upload the data package? What you do is you go to the IRIS portal. I will show you in the live demonstration in a bit. You go to the company diary. You find your respective audits because you will have all the audits that you see, but you'll find your latest audit. And then what you will do is you will go to the data package and you will click here, upload. Once you click upload, you will go to the upload data package page. And what you will see here are the 10 elements to upload. So you have a dedicated area to the specific documentation that you shall upload, those that are mandatory and those that are recommended depending on the specificity of your audit. As I said, just to remind you, the changes related to the RQMS shall be uploaded in the data package if applicable. Okay, if there's no change, do not upload the document. So what happens proactively when you upload each and every file? So what happens here, and I will just get a little laser pointer for you. Every time you upload a dedicated file, you will have a pop-up coming up here saying the files are uploaded. Then you will also have a name reminding you of the file that you have uploaded. Now, if you've uploaded the wrong file, you can upload it again, and then it will replace the previous file that you uploaded. Then you have the navigation toggles at the bottom. Here you'll be able to click save after each time you want to save the status of the data package, but this will not mean you complete the data package. To complete the data package, you shall upload all of the mandatory files and select save and then close. Once you click close, you will see another pop-up on the IRIS portal saying the upload of the data package has been completed and it's closed. And this will therefore confirm the successful completion of the data package. Of course, you cannot close the data package and complete it if you have not uploaded the mandatory elements in the data package. Just a quick reminder about the IRIS survey, the revision 4 survey, to help continuously improve the system and the revision 4 system. You know, in the prior and the previous webinars, we have explained in detail the outcomes. Next year, we will also continue this survey, and from the beginning of April, we will have an updated survey to have an update of the questions and to fine-tune them, to obtain more information. However, to fulfill this survey, we would kindly ask you to access the survey via the link that is sent to the contact person, i.e. the administrator, once you have successfully completed an audit. Or another way to access the survey is to log on to the IRIS portal, navigate to the member area, select clicks complete survey, complete the survey dedicated to the respective site, and then you can review and provide your inputs. Now, before I go to the live demonstration, if you ever have any questions, queries, or issues or bugs, do not hesitate to contact our IRIS Technological Support Help Desk with the following number or the email anytime you may face such issues. So now, before I go into the Audit-Tool Web, let me go into the IRIS portal and show you live how all these things I've explained work. So first things first, I've logged in, but I just would like to show you how to apply for the IRIS portal account membership. So you click IRIS application. Here is what I showed you, and I will zoom in a bit. Here you can fulfill all the elements, and we've marked with an asterisk what is mandatory or not. So you have to put in the information, the amount of employees you have, as I showed you, the certification activities, the business categories, the respective project management. You need to describe your railway sector products, what projects you've delivered, your customers, and importantly, why you have joined and what your time frame for becoming certified is. This is quite interesting and important for us to see how the certification will evolve and develop. Last but not least, I will just show you here the staff headcount for the simplified assessment. So here you can select according to the rules in our performance assessment 2023 edition 2. You can select the staff headcount, and of course if you have the lowest levels, let's say, in staff and turnover, you're able to select the type of assessment. You can select simplified, but it does not mean you need to select simplified. It just shows you the ability to do it. So you can still, by all means, and you're encouraged to still do the full assessment if wanted. However, if you have one of the larger staff headcounts or the turnover, you cannot select simplified assessment because the upper value always rules, and we dedicate that as a company too large or with a too high turnover to do a simplified assessment. Then you put the contact person, and then you will be able to select your registration type, defined or advanced. And of course here you can select your certification body. Now, if you do not know your certification body at this step and stage, you're able then to select it later in the master data. So now let's go to the master data. So let's say you already have the login. As you see here, I've logged in. You can go to administration on the left hand side, and then you can go to edit master data. Now, if you have multiple sites, you can edit it for the multiple sites if you have the respective access. But if you have one site, you can go to the edit location, and here you can edit any of the data that you deem necessary to reflect the accurate and truthful demonstration of the changes in your organization. So you can update all the information that you've put in. And what you need to do at the end is select this checkbox, and I will zoom it in. It's very important. I hereby confirm that the data is complete and valid for the audit. Once you click this button and click Save, your certification body is able to plan and proceed with the audit. If you do not click this button, then your certification body is not able to plan and conduct the audit. So that's very important for you to know. Now, moving forward, I talked about the data package. So let me show you where this is. But just before we go into the data package, I would like to show you how to add an account. So you click the button here under administration, add an account. You put the information in. And once you confirm and click next, you will send off the request for the simple account for the contact person, and colleagues of mine at the Iris Management Center in Brussels will review this request, and if eligible and complete, we will accept, and that contact person will then get an email with their email address and a confirmation of how to set up their password. Now, let's say you have multiple accounts. How do you manage accounts? So to manage the accounts, you can select Manage Accounts. And here, okay, I only have one account in this example, but you will be able to edit all the accounts you have and be able to delete them, to edit them, and to update them. The only type of account that you need the Iris Management Center's approval and help for is the administrator. So if the administrator and the highest level person in our Iris portal account holder leaves, or you would like to change the contact person of this, then you shall contact the Iris Management Center and ask us and make a request via email to update this account, and we will do it rapidly. To change your certification body, you can select Manage My CB, and it will show you the certification body that you currently have. This is just a test account for demonstration purposes. I repeat, you're not allowed to select this CB. In fact, you don't even have the possibility. And then what you can do is select the new certification body and select Send Request. Please be aware, this request will take some calendar days to review, because what our colleagues in the Iris Management Center do is check to see you are not CB shopping and you are fulfilling the rules regarding the CBs. You know, you're not allowed to change certification bodies a certain amount of times within a cycle and so on. So now let's go to the data package. Here in the data package, you have to go to the diary section. You find your latest appointment with me auditing, by the way. This is just a fake example. And then you click data package, upload. You click upload, and then you're able, I will zoom out a bit, and then you're able to select a file. I won't do it now. Click open, and then it will go green, and it will be a pop-up will show and say you have uploaded a document for this file. Once you upload it for everything, you can click save and then click close. Last but not least, on the portal, I just forgot to show you how to request a super user. To do that, what you need to do is select Manage Super Users, click Add. Now, in this fake example, I only have one person in this demonstration, but you can select a user within your corporation and then select that person as a potential person to be a super user. Then the Iris Management Center will review the request and accept it accordingly. Now, there's a few rules. You can have only 2 super users within a corporation. You shall be first a corporation with at least 3 sites connected to a headquarter, and you can only request a super user account for a person that currently has an account. But there does not have to be any limitation of what that account can be. So you can make a super user request for a user that has a simple account, that has an admin account, however you want to do it. So that's about the Iris portal. I will switch back to the Iris Audit-Tool now, and I'm not going to repeat the 1 hour explanation in the first webinar about the Iris Audit-Tool, because there we had a very dedicated deep dive on all the functionalities. I would gladly suggest to you to re-watch it. It's on our YouTube and on our social media. However, I will dive a bit into some of the elements we did not speak about in that first webinar. And the element that we skipped in that webinar mostly revolved around action management for the companies, how to raise corrective actions, how to manage them, how to close them, and the same for the improvement actions. So don't forget the goals of this audit tool for companies is to conduct a high-level internal audit or internal audits for your sites for preparation to become certified or preparation to actively check your rail quality management systems accordance to the IRIS Revision 4 scheme. So now I will go back to the live demonstration and show you how to raise cars and how to raise improvement actions and fulfill the action management. So again, just like the first webinar on the IRIS certification technology, I'm showing you a complete demonstration demo with fake data and complete randomized information. So you see here the auditor is a lead auditor internal, there's no CB, and all the data is, let's say, randomized just to be coherent and clear. So let's say we have the last example I've just made yesterday for this audit. As said, you see here the audit has to state in progress, and the action plan state is no action plan, because so far I have not raised any corrective action or improvement action. So now I jump into the audit. Don't forget you have to click the I button. Now I'm in that audit, and we can check to see if there are any actions. And so far, there are no corrective actions and no improvement actions because it's empty. So just to explain to you the actions page, because this I skipped in the first webinar, the action page is a dedicated page to review the improvement or corrective actions, minor or major cars as well, that have been raised during your internal audits. So here you can review them, you can follow them up, and you can close them, and you can change the status of them, and so on. So this I will show you. So here is just to prove to you that there are no raised actions. So let's go to the assessment sheet, and now let's put in a corrective action. So I won't ask the audience a question now because you won't be able to answer directly. But if I would say, how can you raise a car? The answer would be by selecting an open question with poor or insufficient. And as you know, poor is 1 point, insufficient is 0. Poor is a minor corrective action, and insufficient is a major. So let's pick a poor one. So if you see here, for example, car 1, and I will put here car 2. So if you see here, what I will do is, let's make 2 cars. So I'll put 4.1-2 as a car, this item, so I'll put as a poor. And then I will put 4.1-3 as a minor corrective action as well as poor. So what you will see here in the corrective actions, now you see, like magic, automatically the 2 cars that you have raised. The reason for this is the assessment sheet, as you know, has 342 items, and it will be hard for you to find all the cars here. You can, of course, as I taught you before, you can, of course, filter for the score, insufficient, no, or poor, but I would suggest directly going to the actions. Now, what to do when you have the actions? So like the usual certification process, in your internal audits, you have to put the text of the car. You have to insert the root cause analysis. Who in the organization is responsible? Bear in mind, in a real audit, the responsible for these different columns differ between the lead auditor and the organization. But if it's an internal audit, then the responsibility is all within the organization during the internal audit. So once you finalize the input for the car and select the due date, and of course the corrective action, you're able to change the status. Let's just show the status here. Corrective action required. Because it changed from no action plan to corrective action required, because we've just raised one together. So now what you do is, to close it, you right click or click the three dots here on the right hand side to say corrective action submitted. Once it's submitted, it will still say corrective action required. Why? Because the upper value always rules, because there's still one more corrective action that has not been analyzed yet. So let's quickly, for the sake of demonstration, put something here. And I change it to submitted. Now you see it goes to corrective action submitted, because now you've raised the cars and the internal auditor has submitted the cars. Now the internal auditor submits the documentation of this. You can do it via the offline mode. You can export the improvement actions and cars, or you can provide the access, or the company already has multiple access to this audit tool. And what shall be done then is the review of the respective inputs from the organization on the corrective action or the due date, and they have to check to see if the closure of the corrective action is correctly done. Now, if the internal auditor confirms the success of the closure of the action, then the internal auditor can click right click or the three dots again to decide, is the car accepted or required? If you go back to required, it will open back the audit and it will go back to the corrective action required, and then you have to restart the process. But however, if you click accepted for both and then go back to the internal audit, you will see here that the action plan state is corrective action accepted. And when the corrective action is accepted, you're able in car closure to put the final closure of car date and then officially close the action plan. And like that, the data and dates will correctly go to the audit report. And that's very important, because you will have the final closure of all the audits, and that date will go to the first page of the audit report. Now, for the improvement actions, the process is almost identical. However, it does not impact the full certification process of the specific audit that you are doing for your internal audit. It will impact the next audit, because as you know, for the improvement actions, according to the rules, you have different cases. You have actions that are improvements that are committed and actions that are implemented. So I will show you this now, but that's the differentiation. And the improvement actions are checked in the next audit if the committed ones have been implemented or not. So you don't check this in the current audit. So to create an improvement action, and I have 2 more minutes before the Q&A session, what you do is you click the gearbox, as I taught you in the first training in the webinar. Then you click the gearbox again. You select IAR assignment, improvement action request assignment. I've already done it for this demonstration, but you select it. And then what you do is you select the respective action, like this one, IAR 1, for example, with defined. And you have to also select the designation of the improvement action. And like that, it will go to the improvement action area in the action page. And here you will be able then to put in the text of the improvement action, the improvement action. Of course, in a real audit, the responsibilities of who fills in this area differs between the organization getting audited and the auditor. But in this case, you will be able to do it with your internal auditor and those people in your quality departments. So once that's done, and you've done multiple and you've raised multiple improvement actions, you can right click or select committed or keep it as improvement action assigned. Those are the two options. And you know, according to the rules, a certain amount of them have to be committed, etc. And this you need to define in the closing meeting of your internal audit. And then in the next audit, those that are committed, you need to check that they have been implemented, because in the next audit, you will be able to select implemented or not. So that's in a nutshell the Iris audit tool detailed application topics in regard to action management. So we believe that with this webinar and with the first webinar, we have given at least a holistic overview of all of the different functionalities in the tool. We can, of course, make a third webinar next year on the Iris technology if needed. It all depends on the questions that you give. Just so you know, as Anna Manuel said at the beginning, we are focused on quality continuous improvement with our processes, with our evolutions and developments. And this is why we always listen to what you say, and we can make the webinars according to that. So let's start now the Q&A. So now I need to open my second screen. Just bear with me and check now how many questions and what type of questions. Okay, I must admit there's not a lot of questions. I only see a handful, less than a handful of questions, and we have 500 people who have registered for this event. So if you have more questions right now, Anna Manuel, that will be shortly put on the screen as well, and myself are available as experts to answer any questions you have. I see. So I will go ahead, Anna Manuel, and start with the questions related to my scope and me. So the first question is, and I'll be very transparent. A disadvantage of the audit tool for internal use is that we cannot enter company-specific requirements, and we cannot enter other requirements from other standards as well. Is there a chance that we will enable this in the future? Short answer is yes. One thing that we are doing, and we can explain this in the next webinar when we as Iris Management Center showcase our roadmap, for example, or at the beginning of next year. One thing we will do for the Iris certification technology is develop the Iris audit tool for internal use. So we will take that what I showed you today and in the previous webinar, and we will further develop it to cater your needs. Why? The Iris Audit-Tool Web application caters for the Revision 4 certification process, but not fully for the companies. So please, I urge you to contact me directly or anyone from the Iris Management Center to provide me your detailed requirements from what you would like to see in the audit tool for internal audits. Now, I can't promise you that we will implement everything, but we have a process in the IMC where we review all the feedback and then we analyze and define what we implement. But please, let's have a meeting, provide some feedback on what you would like. It's more than welcome. And we are also, just to let you know, in contact with a lot of companies already to provide their wants and needs as well. Please allow more flexibility on how to enter the address for companies. For companies located in the US, they are addressed in a different way than Europe. and it won't be correcting the certificate. Thank you very much for this feedback. This is the first time I've at least read this. So yes, indeed, we will check this. If you could send an email to us, and we will use you as a case study to ensure that it is correctly updated for sure. Thank you very much. Please allow, okay, yes. When I have uploaded the data package, sorry, Anna Manuel, they don't seem all to be for you, these questions. When I've uploaded the data package in the Iris portal, I need to upload it again for the readiness review. Why do I need to? No, no. You're okay. Understood. Understood. I can confirm that you only need to upload the data package for the actual audit and each time per audit, but you do not have to upload it twice. So I will check into that and see if there's some more fine tuning to be done. Indeed, thank you for the point. And as San Emmanuel said, as actions related to continuous improvement, I will review this and remove this possibility to upload during a readiness review. You do not need to do it twice. Okay, please. Can you please demonstrate how to navigate to the data package? In fact, let me just show you again. I already did it, but I hope the person is still watching. You log on to the Iris portal. You go to administration. You go to diary. You find your audit. You go to your audit. You go to data package and you click upload, and here you can upload your data package. I'm fairly sure the person asked before I explained that. I hope. Okay, so is there any option to filter the QPL on the Iris portal? I love this question. Thank you very much. Maybe I give this question to Anna Manuel to answer about the additional transparency we've put on the portal. If she can just verbally explain that we have updated the different terminology, and you can indeed filter for the QPL.
All right, thank you, Anish. So indeed, now we put more transparency and visibility in terms of QPL in the Iris portal. So now we have different levels, as you may know, gold, silver, and bronze. But also we add no QPL and simplify. And also you may have also the status in progress, QPL in progress. So it means that we are doing the analysis to decide which level you may have. So we implement that to improve the communication and transparency about the result for QPL. So now it's available. We still need to do some minor improvement about it, but now you can see more information about the status of the QPL. And last but not least, I would like to remind all of you that QPL is mandatory, is part of the rules. So when you apply for IRIS certification, you're applying also for a QPL. And it's really important, like I said, because it highlights your level in terms of quality in the IRIS certification. And like I said, QPL is supported by the IRQB, and you may see in the future the fruitful about this QPL for IRIS certification. Fruitful results, yeah.
Thank you very much, Anna Manuel. Yes. Just stay there with me. We will close it in a second. I've just seen two more questions. Do we need to? Or I will read it out. Do we must work with the audit tool? So the question is, do we need to work with the audit tool? So for the companies, it's not mandatory, but it's highly recommended. If you would like to receive the detailed analysis, follow up the respective actions, do the gap analysis, have the assessment sheet, and this is the biggest part of the audit tool. It's a 342 questions with the four maturity levels, with the open questions, with the closed questions, and so on. If you want to gain all this technical know-how and advantage when you're doing your gap analysis, when you're preparing for the next audit, then we highly recommend you to purchase the audit tool. It's 900 euros for 5 years, following the software as a service approach, SaaS. And we are making new updates to the audit tool focused on companies. So do let us know what you would like to see, and we will cater your needs accordingly. Thank you very much for joining. Just before I give the closing remarks to Anna Manuel, I would like to remind you to scan one more time your QR code on the left-hand side to follow us on LinkedIn, and one more time on the right-hand side to scan the QR code for the next webinar. Firstly, on LinkedIn, we kindly ask you to tag IRIS certification when you make a post about us or about IRIS. We will then repost you and make a comment to further enrich and emphasize IRIS certification on within our industry. So we really highly recommend you using LinkedIn. This is one of our biggest social medias. Thank you for those that do already, and let's keep the cooperation. All companies are welcomed to make social media and marketing around IRIS certification, pending if they use the correct logo and terminologies. We will talk about this in the next webinar. And on the right-hand side, we will heavily suggest you to register for the next webinar. We already have secured 2 big speakers, high-level speakers. The first being our UNIFE Director General, and the second, our IRIS certification new chair. So they will have some presentations alongside other discussions that the IRIS Management Center will provide. This will take place on the 5th of December from 11 to 12 CET. So thank you very much from my side for joining this webinar. We're very happy to have 500 registered people, and I would like to then give the closing remarks to Anna Manuel. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining.
Thank you, Anish. Thank you, everybody, for your participation. And like I said, we really want to improve our presence for our stakeholders, improve our service. And please, if you want to improve the quality in your company, join IRIS certification and our community. Thank you.